Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, Evan Teague, with like always is Noah Bailey. So we have a ton of stuff to talk about today. All of it seemingly of equal importance, but I'm just gonna go with the first thing that's personally most exciting to me is the fact that Invincible Season 2 Part 2 is coming back on March 14th.
Yay, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm excited for it, but it's like, why? Why did we? Did we
So
really have to wait another 3 months? You know,
here's
like,
I'm I'm kind of conflicted on just how people are reacting to this because objectively, yes, it is very weird that there was a what is that 4 month delay between
basically,
the part one and part two of an 8 episode season.
right?
That's a little weird, I admit. If that was done specifically so that they can add extra polish to the rest of the episodes, sure, but I don't know if that's the case. It may have just got delayed because that's just the point where Amazon's, uh, Amazon's like block would be available. Like no other Amazon show would be coming out then, sure. But also, like it is objectively weird. It probably should release already, but whatever. We gotta wait. Also, I feel like people complaining that we do have to wait now are like, why they release four in November and four now? Like, why didn't they just release it all in March? Because you same people were complaining that was taking so long between seasons.
Well, I get that. Don't get I get that. Don't get me wrong. Like, I understand. Like, it's like, oh, we don't put all together, but it's like, but if you're gonna release it again, it's 8 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like we're doing 25. It's not like we're doing 50. Like, 8 episodes is not a lot in today's like streaming life. So it's kind of
No.
like, after years to
Mm.
be like, okay, here's four. Okay, JK, we're coming back in 4 months. Like, that's a bit excessive to me. And
Yeah.
again, it's good content. So you're willing to give them a pass, but it's also like, are we gonna is this what we're doing? Like, are we gonna keep is this gonna consistently be a thing?
Mm.
Because if so, that's really off-putting.
I'm hoping that this was essentially just like a something they were trying just so they could try to satiate fans with releasing it, as early as they could, and then like they made those 4 episodes as good as they could possibly be, released those, and then waited until the rest of the four were done, just so that they can make people happy who are waiting, but also make sure that the show is as good as it can be. And they did say that season three was made pretty much at the same time as season two, so there'll be a much shorter gap between seasons. So ideally by next March, we'll
But see,
we'll get season
like
three.
you say that, but there was just a random 3-4 month break in between a season. So now, not that big of a gap. I mean, until it's like confirmed dates,
Mm.
I feel like it's gonna be a long time again. Because it's like, I mean, if we're just dropping mid season hiatuses, then, like, I mean, what is there to like me expect that we're gonna be just reoccurring in a short time period? Because I've so far there's been nothing to feel that way, I guess.
I mean, I'm sure they'll take fan feedback into consideration here. Like I said, I almost guarantee the reason they did release the ones when they did was because they were getting tired of people complaining about it never
Right.
coming out at all.
Agreed.
And I feel like next time they'll just wait. That's that's my hope.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's just, I mean, I'm just impatient. I mean, that's all there is to it.
No, that's
I
fair.
mean, I'm it's a really good show. It's very
Mm-hmm.
well animated. The voice acting's incredible, and we've gushed about it for years now. But it's,
Mm-hmm.
when you think about all we've seen is 12 episodes total, with
Yeah,
how much
and
we talked
plus
about
the
this
Adam Eve
show.
special,
Yes,
so
and
kind of 13.
so I guess 13 if you think about it. But it's like, considering that's it so far,
Mm-hmm.
that's not much of anything really at this point. Because I mean, we've been going on years, so it's like that's not much of anything in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. It's,
Yeah, if anything,
it's good.
I maybe kind of feel like if they could go back in time, I would be surprised if they would like not have that announcement where it's like late 2023, so they would have to keep that. Um, you don't have that announcement, but you do like because if I don't remember correctly, I'm pretty sure the Adam E special just dropped. Like it wasn't announced or anything; it just appeared, right?
I think it dropped like wasn't it like right after the like release announcement for season 2? It was like, hey, this is coming out in November, and to hold you over, here's a special or something. Wasn't that
I'm
the? I
pretty
believe that's what we're
sure
doing.
that release date announcement happened, or release window announcement happened in early 2023. It was like January or February or something. And then the Adam E special dropped right after Comic Con 23, so like July
Okay,
or
maybe
something.
not. Okay, I don't
So
super remember.
if they had just essentially announced and positioned the Adam Eve special, gave it more gravitas, and released that in November, and then be like, and the rest of the season will release next March. Yeah, I think fans will be more or less okay with that because at least feel like an event for this one episode to happen to tie people over.
Hmm.
Although I don't know exactly how many people would be exactly like completely satisfied with just that one, but oh well.
I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but it's also like, is it though? Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is.
Okay, sorry about that. Continue.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, just to summarize, it's just kind of like, yes, it's great. We know it's great, but it's also like, man, if
Okay, one more time. Go.
for real this time, it's working. But yeah,
Yes.
so just yeah, I mean, it's a great show. It doesn't come out very often. It's not there's not a lot of content available. It makes it sad because when you're between seasons 1 and 2, other shows have had 2, 3, 4 seasons even, and we're kind of just like, hey, I want to like this show, but I mean, we haven't even finished this season and we're already done, and other shows have come out in the span, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
well, guess we're just I'll pick you up whenever I see you. Like it's kind of like having a friend that you only see like once a year. It's like even if you guys hang out all day, but you only
Mm-hmm.
see them once a year, it's kind of like I feel like you just kind of can't be as close to somebody as if you could like see them weekly or something. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It just limits the potential. Oh,
Okay, one last time. This let's just get one more time. So, I, your point about other shows coming out is completely true because, yeah, the entire Percy Jackson show will have come out and be done in between half seasons of it's a little weird.
which is crazy because it's just kind of like I mean, again, I get it takes time, but I guess it's just like, wow. Like, especially when, like, I feel like now that Loki was over,
Mm.
other things, it's like this would be a prime window, right? But, like, nah, like, because
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I mean, because like, even how they marketed it was like, originally it was like, oh, it's just like a break for the holidays. Okay, that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Oh, it's coming back. When's it coming back? Oh, it'll be here. And
Yeah.
then January goes by. It's like, hey, is it supposed to be on Friday? No, it's not here yet. And then, oh yeah,
March.
it's coming back at some. Well, remember, it wasn't even March. It was
Mm-hmm.
just TBD for like pretty much this whole month, and we're just kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
did the show like? Did somebody lose it? Like, where is this? Is it on a flash drive somewhere? We don't know where. Like, but
Yep.
yeah, I guess I don't know. It's just frustrating because it's kind of like dependability. The ability to be there is like greater than just not even being good, even being
Mm-hmm.
really good. It's like, yeah, but if there's no content, who cares?
That's fair. Yeah. like yeah, it is annoying, and I to an extent do understand people's complaints. Like obviously, it's a really good show, and you do want it now. I get that, but like I don't know. I feel like I'm going in there with the best intentions, assuming that this is their way of making the show as good as it can be. Like if they release them now, the episodes themselves wouldn't be good, and y'all would be complaining about animation errors or something else. I was guarantee it. If that's what they're doing, then that's fine with me. If they are completely ready and they're just waiting for Amazon to tell them when they can release it, that's a little weird. But yeah,
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
yeah. Now on to something that I have gone on record saying that I was not had low expectations for, but is very steadily creeping into something that like I think might actually be good. Um, Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender show had a new trailer today, and I'm a little scared at how good it looks.
Bro, listen. Okay, so trailer drops. Okay, so let's do a little story. Let's do a little story.
Yep.
Trailer drops earlier today. I watch it on my lunch break, bro. When I tell you, I spent my whole lunch break just running it
Uh,
back and looking like it's great. It again, like kind of like we said with the last trailer, visually about as good as it gets. Like
honestly, yeah.
the characters look great. The animals look
Good.
perfect. No, I
Yeah.
be like what
What is?
is June's animals thing called? The like
Oh
anteater
man,
thing. I forget the name
anteater
of it.
mole thing. I don't know
Yeah,
what it is though.
something.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, the tracking mole, whatever. That thing looks straight out of the show. Like that thing
Mm,
is perfect. I was
yeah.
super impressed by that.
Yeah. And my main I cannot complain. So my main worries regarding the previous trailer was that like yes, the environments look good, the characters look good, like everything we've seen in that trailer looked good. However, that trailer didn't have any action, didn't have any bending, it didn't have
Mm-hmm.
any dialogue at all. And I was like, if I wonder if they're hiding that for a reason, or if they haven't shown it yet. Like that'll be the thing to make or break it. The bending looks really
It does.
good. Like
Bro,
seeing
the
Boomy just like make those like sheets of rocks shooting
that's
at an Aang, flipping up. Oh
perfect.
man.
Guitar makes the ice of the way looks like part. I was like,
hmm
ooh, it looks crisp.
There
Like
was like
the fire even looks
there
pretty
was
good.
one moment of Iroh shooting fire that looked a little slow,
Yeah.
looked a little sluggish, but like other than that one, it all
Yeah. I mean, the fire of the four definitely looks the most iffy, but I feel like that's just kind of I feel like it's going to be the hardest to do, probably. Especially, it
right.
feels like a lot of times they're doing more fireballs than fire bending, which is kind of fair because I feel like that's just kind of how they do it,
Yeah.
especially early on.
hmm
So, oh, man, I don't know, man. I again, we gotta wait till it actually comes out, but
mm,
I have not seen anything to be worried about. Really, this looks
yeah.
really good
Like
still.
actors playing Katara, Sokka, and Aang, like they're about as good as you'd expect child actors to be. They're
Yeah,
not like they didn't like blow me away, but they didn't like suck, for what we
right.
saw in the trailers. Um, Also, the music of this Avatar in general is so good. And like that's not even something that like that you can really give this show because it's just the same song from the original show. But man, that song just made the whole entire trailer just like
It
so much
cooks.
better. Yeah, for real though.
It's like, yep. Like, yeah, that's a it's a bop. I don't know
Yep.
what to tell you. Like I did like
Yeah.
just gets going. Like especially when they do the like especially when it like
hmm
gets really good and the bending like coincides with it. And it's just like dude, it's so good.
Yeah,
Cause
and
like
I am a little. Hmm. maybe best way to put this, like I completely understand that it is an adaptation, so maybe this criticism isn't valid, but like I am gonna be a little wary of the fact that like watching that trailer, I was like, oh, that's that scene from from this episode. That's the episode where Iroh is captured and Zuko goes to find him. Like moments from the show, like and I don't know, like that kind of goes into our original worries of like if you're just gonna make it a one-to-one adaptation and it's not as good or better, then I will be wondering during those scenes like oh, that didn't look as good, or I would have done this differently, or it looked better. Like, why is this being made if it is not as good or better than the original thing? And if it is just scene for scene a recreation, you know, that has potential to be to to feel like that. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it, and unlike this, it's coming in February, which
Hmm.
is going to be another show that's going to drop before Invincible comes back.
Yeah,
Because I mean, I don't have they said are they going to do the normal Netflix thing and just drop it, or are they going weekly? Do you
I
know?
haven't heard anything different. I don't think Netflix has ever done anything that wasn't all at one time, or at least in like chunks. Um, Yeah, as far as I know, it's just going to be all one thing. I wish it
No.
were like I do really like when it can be week by week. However, something that we'll talk about later, uh, there is evidence where like even on Disney Plus where like releasing it all at one time maybe can be beneficial to certain shows. So you know we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked this well for Netflix, so
Yeah,
I mean, they've been doing it this whole time, so I kind of get it. But
yeah, yeah. Not much longer. It just as long as they don't trip over the finish line, it'll at least be you know not a total embarrassment, hopefully.
let's hope not.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah.
But, I mean, again, the bar is literally. I mean, it's not gonna be the movie that shall not be named. Like
Hmm.
I think we're just visually. I think we're past that already. So it's like,
Yes.
I think it'll be good. They seem story wise, they're keeping it season one, which I think is ideal to
Hmm.
kind of keep the pacing. I'm not sure exactly how many episodes this is gonna go, but if it's like the usual, is it like you think it's gonna be like the usual 8 or
I
so?
think Netflix
Probably,
is
I would
usually
guess.
10.
Is it
I
10?
think
Okay.
so. Um, at least
But
I think the Daredevil seasons are 13.
I guess
So
they'll be however many they feel like they need.
yeah,
So I feel like anywhere from 8 to 12 would be enough
yes.
theoretically to do all of
Especially if they
season one.
are like 40 plus minute episodes, they can
Yeah,
combine elements of
definitely.
different episodes together and skip ones they don't really need to do. Um, because yeah, like you don't really need the episode where they find those pirates and get the waterbending scroll from them. Like you don't need that
Nah.
whole episode, but like as long as they get the scroll in a reasonable way,
Yeah, you only
um,
need like 5-10 minutes of an episode to
yeah.
do that.
Obviously, you don't need Great Divide. Like,
Just fly over it like
yeah,
they did in the Emperor Island
mhm,
players.
yeah. So,
Oh man. Yeah, honestly, you pretty much. I mean, they already showed they're gonna do the Kyoshi Island thing. That
mhm.
looks great. Obviously, the North Pole at the end. Probably just like,
The Blue Spirit
oh
stuff.
yeah, Blue Spirit looks dope.
Yes,
Also,
yes.
I was pretty impressed. Like, oh,
Mm.
okay, we're doing this. Yeah, man, I'm for it, man. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
This looks really good. It's getting me excited for Avatar stuff, which has been a while since I've been excited for Avatar stuff since Avatar originally was on Netflix
Uh,
and we watched it again.
yeah. So, yeah, February 22nd. Um, I'll I'll be there. Absolutely.
Yep.
Something else I'm like kind of weirdly excited about. Um, it was announced that Tom Cruise has struck a deal with Warner Brothers to develop multiple new and existing franchise movies, with the first one
Oh,
being discussed, Edge of Tomorrow 2.
Oh.
And I think it would be such a baller move if they just do the exact same script and just refilm the whole movie.
No way.
They're not going to, but how funny would it be if it's just the same movie again, but
They
like
just
made
run
10
it
years
back.
later? Yeah.
I mean, you probably. I mean, they could, but
They shouldn't. That would be a worse
no,
movie, but I think that would
no,
be
that
very
would be a
funny.
worse movie. Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
hilarious.
but regardless, Edge of Tomorrow 2 has been something that was like has been kicked around for years, and now they're probably actually going to do it, as well as other movies with Tom Cruise. Like I don't know exactly what other movies he's going to be making or whatever. Like it's kind of weird considering Paramount has kind of been his home for decades
Wild.
now. And now he's at least working some with Warner Brothers. So
Yeah.
that's interesting.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
But
Obviously, this does
I
come
mean,
with speculation of like, oh, will he be Booster Gold or some other
Booster
DC
Gold.
hero? Maybe like
I
could be.
mean, Booster Gold will be interesting.
Yeah. Like I mean, if Hal Jordan were to be played by someone 10, 20
Right.
years ago, Tom Cruise would have been a good choice.
Right.
But
But is that, but do you think, I mean, but I don't know, Booster Gold feels like a young person to me too, though.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Like, you can play like Kent Nelson, Dr. Fate or something. No, he's not that
no, he's
old.
definitely not that old.
uh,
Yeah, like if James Gunn, I mean anybody James Gunn cast him as, I'm sure he would, you know, he would do that character justice. Um, or he very specifically hasn't been a superhero ever, right? I don't think he's ever been in a superhero movie, has he?
not that I can think of. I don't think so.
Yeah, he was probably almost Iron Man, but then didn't do it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, as long as you don't call as long as you don't count like Jack Reacher as like borderline superhero, then
uh,
no.
I mean, in the same way that John Wick is a superhero. Yeah,
Right, right. It's like no, but like had he worn a cape, then it'd be a maybe.
pretty much. Yeah. um, which I mean, the new Reacher show on Amazon, like he he's basically Batman in
No,
that show.
he's no that dude. That show's awesome. But I
Yeah,
don't know if you've seen it. That show's
I've
awesome.
seen some of it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Mhm. Um, so one last like topic before we get into Disney stuff. The cast for the Minecraft movie, which I keep forgetting is happening, but might actually be good now that we know this casting, keeps getting bigger and weirder, and kind of here for it.
Okay.
Apparently, Jack Black is gonna
Yes.
star as the main character.
Yep. I'm for it.
I'm
Yep.
all, yep, sure.
Yep. Take my money.
Yeah.
100%.
I I really I have absolutely no idea what this movie is gonna be. Like, will it be basically an isekai where he gets sucked into that world? Oh, something like Mario or every movie from the mid 2000s. That's
Mm.
Smurfs, etc. Like that kind of thing happened all the time back then. Um, will it just be Jack Black as as Steve, just going around the Minecraft world, just doing stuff? Like how much of the lore will they get into this one movie? Because I would be shocked if a movie titled Minecraft doesn't make an easy $1 billion. Like it's
Yeah,
still
no, it definitely
incredibly
should.
popular.
Yeah, it definitely. If it doesn't, that's a disappointment, in my opinion. Because
Yeah.
it's like you totally should. It's definitely popular enough. And the thing too is like, I mean, if you do it right, it should be really fun. And like that's the
Mhm.
thing. I mean, between Mario and like all these, detective peeps, like not that like game movies are back, but like I feel like games that are at the level of like basically brands,
Mhm.
I feel like are fine because like Mario's a game series, but let's be honest, like Mario's a household name. Like that's not
Yes.
just like, and
Yeah.
I feel like Minecraft is there.
Like every single person below the age of 30 has heard of Minecraft, or maybe even older than that.
Yes.
Like it's yeah.
Like like if you don't know Minecraft, that's on you, kind of thing.
Yeah. And Jason Momoa has been attached to this project for years as somebody. Like I don't know. Like I know a lot about Minecraft. I don't like who's he gonna play? Like he can't just be a villager, or he can't just be like there are very few like big named characters he gonna I don't even know. This movie
You
could be super simple or it could be balls to the walls crazy. And with Jack Black as the main character,
probably the latter.
probably the latter. Yeah, it's gonna be there, there has to be some kind of obligatory musical number just because Jack Black's in it. Like it is gonna be a little it is a little interesting the fact that like you know Minecraft, Steve is very famously a silent protagonist, and Jack
hmm
Black, he, I've never seen a movie with him as the main character who he's not talking the entire time, which I love him for that, but like, this is not who I would pick generally to play a silent protagonist, but they'll make it
Yeah, that
work.
makes sense. I mean, they could make it work. Again, and again, it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like you're gonna have to make them talk because, like, and I don't think it's gonna be. I know it's there's no talking, but it's like I don't
Mm,
think they would be like that upset about it. I don't think people would be like, "This isn't like the lore's been broken, boo!" And like it's funny, like you know what
yeah,
I mean?
I could so easily see a thing where like, Jack Black like wakes up from a bed and is like, where am I? Like what? Like kind of pseudo do the thing where he's like lost in another world. Like where am I? Like okay, I guess I should he's like kind of talking to himself. He's like, I guess I should find material to make tools. I know, I'll cut that tree down. I don't see any axes or anything. I'll just punch it. Ow! He's like ow, 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 until it finally falls down. I can see them having fun with it.
Like he slowly like learns and understands the world versus just kind of already being in it, and we're just catching up with him.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Like essentially, you're watching his first playthrough of Minecraft. It could be fun.
be pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's scheduled to come out next year. We're in 24 now. Next year. Um, so hopefully we'll get like concept art or, you know, like a first look or something soon because I'm really curious about like what all is gonna be. So yeah, moving over to Disney stuff, and boy, we have a lot of Disney stuff to talk about. Quite possibly the most important one to get us started is the fact that Wizards of Waverly Place is getting a sequel series.
What?
Yeah. Um, Selena Gomez and
Like,
David Henry are coming together to develop a Wizardly Place sequel show.
okay, now the number one question: anytime there's a show coming back, we starting fresh or we continuing on? Do we
The
know?
main characters will be Justin's children.
Boo.
Yeah,
We did this already with that 70 show and it didn't go
I
well.
like I was excited, like really excited, and it's like, oh, it'll be about Justin who has given up his powers and just wants to live a normal life with his kids. Oh, his kids have powers. Like I don't know. And like uh Alex Russo will be at least there for the pilot and maybe be a recurring character throughout, but
Boo.
I don't know. Like
See, like I can't even sell me on the pitch. I'm just like, ah.
Like,
This seems like it'll have maybe in a whole season, it might have 20 minutes that I might like be interested in, and
mhm.
then the rest of it I'm not interested in anymore.
Yeah, like considering just how the world works, magic children are, you know, everywhere. You could just have another family, you know, be, you know, have, be a magical family and just, you know, you can still have characters from the original show, show up and do whatever, but yeah, I don't know. I'm curious how they'll do it. It's has potential to at least be, to be fun. Like I hope they at least keep the same general style of Wizards of Waverly Place. It also doesn't help that Justin is not most people's favorite character from that show.
I
Obviously,
mean,
Alex is the people's favorites, like Harper,
yeah.
etc. But
Oh yeah, Harper was great.
yeah,
I mean, my thing about it is just like I don't understand making a follow-up show that's not gonna follow up on the old show. You know what I mean? It's like I just and not just with this, but just in general, whenever shows do that, because it's kind of like what's the point of making it the same brand if you're not gonna really follow the
hmm
same characters? Because like that's where we're invested in. We're not invested in. I'm not saying you can't get invested in new characters, but if that's the case, I mean, can't you just make a new show?
right. And also the way the pitch was said, it's almost like, oh, we're just making the old show again because the old show was about these kids growing up in a magical family with their dad who lost his powers, and they go for like, why did Justin have to give up his powers? Like I know in the original show he was given his powers back in order to become the headmaster of the wizard school, but I guess he stopped doing that. So he lost his powers, I guess.
But like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know, cause like, I don't know. It just doesn't. It feels like you're just riding the coattails to draw in an audience of a show that otherwise would not have one.
right.
Because it's literally like, oh, we're making this, but not really. It's like you're just slapping the brand on it and then just kind of doing your own thing that doesn't. And
Hmm.
then no one cares. And then you're like, why is no one like this? Like, because this isn't what it is. It's just saying it is.
Yeah, that's a good point. I,
I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just bitter because I felt like, because even back in the day, like again, not that again, not this is not to be bad, but not that like for like Legend of Korra is bad. I think it's very good.
Hmm.
But had you asked me as a kid all those years ago, hey, would you rather have a new show in a slightly distant future with all new characters,
Hmm.
or the same characters a few years later, just older? 9 out of 10 kids would have said, "Give me the same characters, just older," because we're getting older too. So it's like,
Yeah.
doesn't that just make sense? I mean, I'm sure there was other reasons. Well, not really. I don't know, but like, it just feels like
Hmm.
wasted opportunities, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I at least appreciate that Selena Gomez and David Henry are executive producing it. Um, so it's not just like some executive is like millennials like this show, so we'll just make this show again. Like it seems like the two
Yeah,
came back together to try to to make something. So it at least has that going for it. Um, so we'll see. It's probably a few years away from actually coming out. So we'll see what form it actually takes, or if it actually becomes a show. Because currently they're just pitching the pilot with with Selena Gomez as there, but then clearly not a main character for the rest of the show. So yeah, we'll see.
yeah. I know. I guess I'm just being hard on it.
Mm,
I know. I just like it's how you feel.
yeah, this this does prove that Disney was true to their word about like how they would structure their Disney Plus shows going forward because um, it, it was I think it was that Variety article, which a lot of that turned out not to be true, but some was true. Where like apparently Disney didn't shows didn't have showrunners, they didn't have pilots, these very basic things that most shows have. They just told somebody to make 6 episodes of a thing, and then they made that thing, and then it was out. So now we're like, okay, you know, has the producers, but we're actually gonna have to make a pilot first and see if that works. So you know, I at least appreciate them, them doing that again because I feel like there are a lot of shows that maybe the original pitch wasn't the best. Maybe it wasn't the best thing to go off of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll have it's one again. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Mm,
But
okay.
mm,
Okay. Moving on to Star Wars stuff. It was announced that essentially Mandalorian season 4 has pivoted into a movie called The Mandalorian and Grogu.
yes,
Yeah, sure, why not?
down for that.
Yeah, like I obviously season 3 was a royal step back from season 1 and 2. Uh, like,
I
like
mean,
it,
you can
I
only strike gold so many times in a row.
but like going back to the first couple episodes of season 1, it's like you're watching a different show. And I know a lot has happened. I get that, but like the first season felt very. It felt a lot smaller, and I think that was one of his benefits because people were like people are getting just a little tired of like movies like Solo and a bunch of other you know movies and projects that were just like what if these old characters did a thing again? And Mandalorian wasn't like that at all. The closest we got was you know the Baby Yoda, and the main character looking kind of like Boba Fett, but wasn't. And even just the way it was shot just looked better than it did now for some reason. Like the colors popped more, just the way things were framed just looked better. The CG was weirdly better back in season 1. It just felt more focused. And then season 3 was almost entirely well, it was barely even like Din Djarin's show anymore. Like they brought Grogu back just for him to not do much the entire season. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. They brought him back during a part of a different show that
Yeah,
was
that did
also way
happen.
way unfocused and not not what it should have been. So yeah, I feel like the season 3 left at a decent spot where like you could end the show there, or you could essentially continue with more episodic stuff. But this movie, just being this like one-off movie, I think is a not a bad idea.
I mean, we'll have to see. I personally, I think it is good that they're actually giving, like, I think the Dave Filoni and John Favreau, like, they're getting their official movie shot. I think is
Yes.
by far well deserved and been a long time coming. So,
Hmm.
especially with some of the other Star Wars movies we've seen lately. So I'm
Yeah,
all for it personally. I hope it is just knocks it out of the park. Honestly,
hmm
I hope so. I don't know if
I
it
agree.
will.
Although I will say, because this is a movie, it's set in the Star Wars universe that is not an episode movie. There is I'll be generous and say 72% chance this movie gets canceled.
72% chance.
Think about all the different Star Wars movies that they've pitched that never came out.
I mean, yeah, but this is actually merited based on like things you've actually made, which is
that's
good.
that's right. Yeah, and like yeah, John Favreau is he made Iron Man. Like he he already spearheaded one giant, giant Disney, franchise. So yeah, let him take a crack at making a Star Wars movie. Absolutely, why not?
Yeah.
I don't want it to be canceled, but I'm just saying if production goes badly at all, there's a non-zero chance that it just won't happen. So yeah, um, yeah, I think they said that movie's coming out next year, maybe 26 at the latest. So another year or two before it comes out. But yeah, something we don't have to wait nearly as long to watch. Bad Batch season 3 has a 3 episode premiere on February 21st.
Woo.
Um, I hated season 2. Did you even watch it?
No,
I
I
can't
mean,
really recommend it either.
I I'm at the point with Bad Batch where I'm just kind of like, if something important happens, let me know.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I'm just gonna kind of let it go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like so I'm rewatching the Clone Wars with my brother. We just got to the Bad Batch arc in
Mm.
season 7, and they feel so different. Like I don't know if
Uh,
them just like they're just cooler or just like I just like haven't I don't know, just compared to seeing regular clones for the whole time, and then all of a sudden they can do crazy stuff. But it's just like for some reason they seem so boring now,
mm.
and like because I even that whole first season don't they don't really do anything interesting. They kind of just they seem like they go on regular little missions and don't really use their powers and like super abilities unless like
Uh,
one time and then they forget they have them and then that's it. And it's kind
yeah.
of like it's
And
like doing the superpower thing where it's like, oh yeah, I forgot I can do this thing that would have solved the whole problem 10 minutes ago.
hmm yeah, and having Echo and Tech on the same team meant that at any given time, one of them should be doing the thing the other one should be doing, which is usually Tech doing the thing that Echo could be doing. like,
Yeah, well, especially
like,
because I mean
like,
they made him the like also the tech guy, which I'm like, why not just make him like the not control group, but
like
like the
strategist.
I not even I mean maybe well not really because Hunter's more the leader, so he's kind of has to be the strategist, but like I would just make like you could make him kind of like the guy who remembers the regular clones.
Hmm.
So he
Yeah.
could like kind of have that perspective. Whenever something with regular clones happens, he's more I don't know, open minded to. He kind of just feels like I mean I don't know. I still go back to
Yeah.
that time where they meet up with Rex and like him and Echo have like one exchange, and it's just like, bro, that is
Yeah.
your boy. Like
Because
that, like after everything you went through to get back with him, now it's just kind of like, hey, what's up, bro? Like
Echo
that's it.
theoretically didn't even know that Rex lived. so,
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he doesn't know anything. I mean, not to mention his whole like half his whole squad just blew up. Like,
mhm.
I mean, all these guys. I mean, he doesn't even know. I mean, you know, it was like, oh, he tells him about fives. It's like, oh, that's crazy. It's like, bro, that was your best friend. Like,
Yeah.
how you gonna be like, that's interesting. Like, that was so casual. That should have been a whole thing. Like,
Mm,
I don't know. I don't get it.
yeah. But the trailer for season 3 looked fine enough. Like they've definitely broken away from the whole mercenary arc. Like they're still probably going to be some filler just because that's how the show is. But um, Asajj Ventress
All
was
that.
shown in the trailer. So having a
It's
yellow
pretty cool.
lightsaber, that's always cool.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna watch it, but um, I don't necessarily have the highest hopes. They did confirm it'll be the last season, which I think is the right call.
Yeah.
I I do hope that you know, Dave Filoni or whoever has more ideas for like other animated Star Wars stuff in the same style. Um, I know I'm pretty sure Tales of the Jedi season 2 was greenlit. Which,
Uh,
yeah, I'm all for more of that. Um, but even just other clone stuff, other stuff set in the similar time period, or, before, after, like whatever. I think
Yeah.
this art style is a
Just
very good art style for Star Wars stuff, and I think,
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
pretty much just anything. I mean, I feel like it's anything that happened in the prequels that is interesting that we did not see. I want to see
yeah,
essentially. Like there could be like Darth Plagueis and Palpatine stuff from happening on off screen from Episode One, or there could be like whatever. Whatever. Just cool stuff.
yeah, um,
Oh, and the
yeah,
like how the battle over Coruscant started. Like how they have it in the
oh yeah,
2003 like Clone
oh
Wars
yeah,
like miniseries. Like that would be awesome to see in this art style. Like I want to see General Grievous just show up on Coruscant, and they have that whole thing with Shakti and everything.
hmm,
Like I'd be down for that.
yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, Bad Batch, 3 episodes on the 21st. So
Mm.
cool.
All right.
Uh, Next up, Ahsoka season 2 is officially in production. So
Ooh, really?
yes.
Okay. That was a little. I'll admit, I wasn't expecting that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's always going to be, you know, a little upsetting the fact that I was named Ray Stevenson. Was that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that obviously he won't be in season 2, but I hope if they keep the character around, you know, they do it honorably and pick someone who would. I would almost think like in most situations, I almost feel like you should pick someone who could kind of do their own thing while keeping the same essence of the character and not just do an impression of that guy. I think
Mm-hmm.
in most cases, I think that's how it should be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was definitely a very bright spot of season 1. Um, so yeah, definitely do that character justice if you're going to use him. Um, but yeah, I liked Ahsoka seemingly more than most people did. There were some parts I didn't love, but some parts I really liked. So they can just zero in on the stuff I really liked more. That's probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah. Lean into it. That'd be all right.
Yeah. Speaking of Star Wars shows that might be in the works, a Star Wars What If style show has been apparently pitched at Lucasfilm.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I've wanted this for since before What If Marvel even. I've wanted this for a
Yeah.
while.
No, I mean we talked about. I mean, I'm pretty sure we like discussed this well before. Like, yeah, like even Marvel would have came out.
Hmm.
Like we talked about. We were like, oh, that'd be so cool about Star Wars. What? Because there's always the like, what if Anakin beat Obi-Wan and it wasn't burned and all that stuff, or what if this and that? Like, there's a lot of what ifs you could easily do
Hmm.
with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Do you do you think they're going to kind of do like what if and kind of do like a more fully 2D animated thing, or what do you think, or kind of like maybe use some things to inspire from Star Wars Visions, or like maybe try the Clone Wars with it?
Huh. Um. Obviously, I don't want it in the same art style that Marvel What If is in. Is that art style? I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Obviously, I like the Clone Wars style a lot more. Um, it would be kind of cool if they, for any given Star Wars project, if like one of the studios that made the Star Wars Visions, if they like could get them to make a whole show for them, that'd be cool.
Pretty cool.
Um, my one main fear, I guess, with this idea is like I don't think they'll do it. I really don't want them to do it, but I feel like
Uh-oh.
fans might want them to, but whatever. But like I I don't want them to like essentially try to retcon the sequels with this. show. You know what I'm saying? It'd
Ooh.
be like, what if I don't even know. Like I don't even know exactly which part they would even try to do, but like
What if we didn't make these movies?
I don't know. like I would definitely would not want them to do a thing where it's like, what if Luke wasn't in exile, or what if he did, take the lightsaber and go, you know,
Like,
face
what if he
face down
did
with
what
Star
everyone
Destroyer.
expected them to do,
Yeah, I think that'd be
and then
boring.
everyone's like, "Why is this better than the actual movie?"
I think that'd be boring.
Mm,
It would go against the point of that movie to just be like, this is what could have happened. Like, I don't know, I don't really like that. Um, like the easiest thing is like, oh, what if the Jedi figured it out earlier and the Empire never rose? Like, what would that look like?
yeah, that'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Um,
Like, yeah, they got to do one where Anakin doesn't go to the dark side, just to
yeah.
like see how that goes, how that progresses.
Mm,
Because I feel like that's been the most like YouTube fan what if thing ever. So like,
yeah.
yeah, just to see. But yeah, there'd be a lot of. I think there's a lot of good options with that. 'Cause there's so many things you could potentially do.
Hmm. Yeah. Like, just the idea of it is pretty exciting. Um, I hope they go bigger with their concepts than Marvel What If did, because especially with season two, I feel like a lot of the concepts were either like sequels to things from other What If episodes, or
Mhm.
not, like they don't really change enough, or they're not like thinking. I feel like it's like season two kind of lost the plot with like, oh, what if this one little thing from this movie was changed? It's like, oh, actually, we're gonna do the thing where what if this character that doesn't even exist exists now? It's like, um,
Basically,
or what if a Scarlet Witch from a different timeline brought heroes from other, like that's not what the show was supposed to be about, but
right?
whatever. Regardless, I hope that, yeah, I hope that if this does happen, which I really want it to happen, I hope they, hope they do it right. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they do. I think they will.
Mhm. Okay. Moving over to Marvel stuff. So, I know you haven't seen Echo, so I'm not gonna like bring like any actual spoilers. Like not really. But apparently, Echo, which released all episodes at the same time, it was all 5 episodes all on the same day. Apparently, even though it didn't really generate as much buzz online as other Marvel shows, apparently it was actually pretty successful. Like, it actually did get a lot of views on Disney Plus, and actually um, elevated viewership of other shows that like were connected to it, like Punisher, Hawkeye, and Daredevil, that are on Disney Plus. So
Okay.
that's that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, again, a show that you worried where it's not going to get a lot of traction despite me looking good.
Hmm. Yeah, and like with every Marvel thing, I have my criticisms, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. Like, I thought it was actually pretty well written. Like, it took the main character disabilities to like use them in very unique ways, without just like making her, a token character. Like, it thought it did that character justice.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I think that's encouraging for Marvel to know that they can make these smaller shows and not have to waste $200+ million on She-Hulk for no one to like it. Which, again, I'm not really throwing shade at She-Hulk as a show. I liked it fine enough, but like, you just could have made her wear green body paint and people would have accepted it. You didn't have to, $200+ million on that. $200+ million on Secret Invasion. Again, a show that no one liked. Like these Disney Plus shows
Yeah.
don't need to be these giant, like Avengers level threats things. They could just be a smaller, personal, street level, family focused event, and I think that's perfectly fine.
100%.
But kind of because of this, and this next thing has been kind of kicked around for a while now, but the Daredevil Born Again show took a pretty decent hiatus with the writer's strike and just the holidays and everything happening. It took a pretty decent hiatus in filming and pre-production, and they actually started up filming of it yesterday as of recording. And apparently, the script has gone through a massive overhaul to the point
Ooh.
where originally it was going to be 18 episodes, but now it's looking like it's going to go back to the original 13 that the first three seasons had. But that does include them bringing back all the characters that people were upset weren't you know weren't coming back. They confirmed that Bullseye is actually going to be at least one of the villains of season four, or I guess Born Again. Um, like a lot of the same writing team and just people who like a stunt coordinator, just a lot of people who worked on the original show are coming back for it. So it's looking like I don't know what happened exactly, but it looks like the show is headed in a much better direction than whatever it was originally going to be. So I think that's good.
That's good. Yeah. Whenever I hear massive rewrites or massive reshoots or anything like that, I do immediately get super worried. But I mean, if it's the same writing team, it's the same, I feel like they can get it
Yes.
together.
Yeah. And like usually when these rewrites happen, it's like studio mandates it force them to do things they didn't necessarily originally have scripted. But here it seems like they're rewriting it to get away from the studio mandates. Where like it feels like originally they wanted the show to connect more with other stuff. They wanted to like be not what people wanted from a Daredevil show, and it seems like it's going to be more in the style of the original show, which I think is definitely good.
Hmm.
um, Next up, it's been confirmed that Spider-Man 4 will feature a villain that has never been used in live action before.
They're doing it. They're baiting the wall.
Yeah,
They're
big
doing
wheel. Let's
it.
go, big wheel.
Okay, so never released in live action is pretty cool.
Mhm.
Do you any early speculations?
Yes. The one small spoiler I'll give for Echo is that at one point, Kingpin mentions how he wants, when he gets back to New York, he wants to meet up with the other, what do you call them? Basically, the other like gang leaders, and like just
Oh,
make
like
sure that,
Crime Lord.
yeah, crime lords, make sure that like the power vacuum is sealed. Just you know, when he
Oh,
when he gets back, he just wants to make sure that everything is fine. So
oh, we're
my
thinking
three main guesses right
Tombstone.
now are Tombstone,
Hmm.
Hammerhead, or
Yeah.
Mr. Negative. Yeah.
Ooh, good options.
So my 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 money would be on Tombstone, I think.
I think Tombstone makes the most sense because power scaling wise, I think his skill set works well against Spider Man just
Yes.
because you can't really hit him.
Hmm. Yeah, I think he's a good adversary for Spider-Man. I think he's also like he would also be a pretty, if done right, be a decent opponent to Kingpin also. Like if they
Hmm.
were to ever fight, I think that'd be fun. He definitely has the influence to, you know, hire somebody like a Scorpion who was teased back in Homecoming.
Hmm.
Like I think not to mention Scorpion is also another character that hasn't really been used in live action before, so that could just be that. Um, yeah, that confirmation is pretty exciting.
I'm all for it.
Hmm. And last bit of news here is it was never confirmed, but it was basically confirmed that Stephen Ewan, the guy that voices Invincible from Invincible, would
Mhm.
be playing the Sentry in the Thunderbolts. And even though that was never confirmed, it has now also been confirmed that he is no longer doing that.
Well then,
Yeah, there's been no like official wording from what I can tell from Stephen Ewan or anybody like actually on the production team. It's just some insider saying that like they saw him in costume and they now know that he's not doing it anymore or something. So, but also the Century being in in this movie seems like a
bit much.
bit much. But
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, you never know, but like, come on, like,
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know what to think about this movie anymore. I really think of all the Marvel movies that have been announced so far, I think this is the most likely candidate to be axed or completely restructured into something else or whatever. Because not that no one asks for it, because I really do think that a basically Suicide Squad but with Marvel villains is a good idea. I just still don't agree with the ones that they picked. Like obviously, I really like uh, um, what's the name? U.S. Agent. I like Taskmaster on the team. I even like Ghost on the team, but I feel like Yelena doesn't really fit. I don't know if Bucky and Red Guardian also being there. I don't know if that like I don't know. That just doesn't
I mean,
feel right.
yeah, I mean, it might not be the most balanced, but it's kind of like a hey, we have these characters and don't really have anywhere to put them until further notice. And these actors are, fairly famous, pretty
Yeah,
get paid pretty well. We got to do them for something.
but there are other characters you could pull from, like you know, like
Yeah, but
Abomination was right there. I thought that's why he was being set up. That's why he was put into She-Hulk, but apparently not. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like Zemo, also, where's Zemo? That's his whole thing, but whatever. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, and then
I mean,
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah, you throw the Sentry in there as in some capacity. Like,
Just
sure,
cause.
I guess he's got to be in this movie in this universe at some point, which is cool. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, is there anything else that you want to bring up or discuss before we sign off?
I don't have anything else. That's all I've got.
All right. So with that, we will see you all next time.
Take care, everybody.